Hello everybody and welcome to a special bonus episode of Let's Play Silent Hill 2, Restless Dreams. Going through the game I had mentioned to you that it had several different endings, and that most of the endings were achieved depending on what you did during the course of the game. Now the ending we got going through it was called the in-water ending, where James, lost to grief, commits suicide. But I had played the game beforehand and had enough sense to save before getting to the end of the game. So now we're going to see what ending I had earned in the previous playthrough. Now for the most part, I played it just like the last one, although I spent a lot more time exploring, which means I probably spent more time with Maria than before. In this case, we did listen to the entirety of the conversation at the end of the hallway, but I did not listen to the tape in the library room in the hotel. So the first thing we're going to do is challenge the Marry Maria monster and see if the dialogue or an interaction with her is any different.
Mary?
When will you ever stop making that mistake? Mary's dead. You killed her.
Maria? It's you. But I don't need you anymore.
What? You must be joking. But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. And I'll never yell at you or make you feel bad. That's what you wanted. I'm different than Mary. How can you throw me away?
I understand now. It's time to end this nightmare.
No! I won't let you. You deserve to die too, James.
Now with the Marry Maria monster defeated, we're going to see what kind of ending we get.
Mary?
James.
Forgive me.
I told you that I wanted to die, James. I wanted the pain to end.
That's why I did it, honey. I just couldn't watch you suffer. No. That's not true. You also said you didn't want to die. The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way. I wanted my life back.
James, if that were true, then why do you look so sad?
Mary?
James, please. Please do something for me. Go on with your life.
In my restless dreams, I see that town. Silent Hill.
You promised you'd take me there again someday. But you never did. Well, I'm alone there now. In our special place. Waiting for you. Waiting for you to come to see me. But you never do. And so I wait, wrapped in my cocoon of pain and loneliness. I know I've done a terrible thing to you. Something you'll never forgive me for. I wish I could change that. But I can't. I feel so pathetic and ugly laying here, waiting for you. Every day I stare up at the cracks in the ceiling, and all I can think about is how unfair it all is. The doctor came today. He told me I could go home for a short stay. It's not that I'm getting better. It's just that this may be my last chance. I think you know what I mean. Even so, I'm glad to be coming home. I've missed you terribly. But I'm afraid, James. I'm afraid you don't really want me to come home. Whenever you come see me, I can tell how hard it is on you. I don't know if you hate me or pity me, or maybe I just disgust you. I'm sorry about that. When I first learned that I was going to die, I just didn't want to accept it. I was so angry all the time, and I struck out at everyone I loved most. Especially you, James. That's why I understand if you do hate me. But I want you to know this, James. I'll always love you. Even though our life together had to end like this, I still wouldn't trade it for the world. We had some wonderful years together. Well, this letter has gone on too long, so I'll say goodbye. I told the nurse to give this to you after I'm gone. That means that as you read this, I'm already dead. I can't tell you to remember me, but I can't bear for you to forget me. These last few years since I became ill, I am so sorry for what I did to you, did to us. You've given me so much, and I haven't been able to return a single thing. That's why I want you to live for yourself now. Do what's best for you, James. James, you made me happy.
And there we go. We get to see Laura walking away from the graveyard that we had ventured into at the very beginning of the game. And right behind her is James. Now I like to infer from that ending that we're getting right now, which is called the leave ending, that James and Laura are leaving the town together, and they're going to at least spend the rest of their lives together now, or he's going to adopt her and raise her on his own. I'm also one of those guys that believes in honesty and full disclosure. I know I'm one of those weirdos. But the first time I had played Silent Hill, this was the ending I got. So of course that colors a lot of my feelings for this ending. And I believe honestly that this is the most emotionally satisfying ending for Silent Hill 2. Not only does James survive, and he gets to leave with Laura, Mary also gets what she wants. James has given up on his grief and his self-loathing, and he's found his own forgiveness. He's able to continue on with his life, as opposed to killing himself or falling deeper into delusion. Additionally, Laura now gets to spend her life with James. So I think this is the most satisfying ending out of all of them, even though I feel that all the endings make sense in their own context. The other ending that you didn't get to see is called the Maria ending, and in that ending, James, for all that he experienced, still chooses to stay with Maria and leave Silent Hill with her. Although, when he does leave with her, she's coughing and she's weak, and he even makes mention that she should probably get checked out, which leads me to believe that Maria is going to suffer the same fate that Mary did. So, those are the endings that you can get depending on the actions you take during the course of the game. There are still 3 more endings I want to show you, and these endings are more actively determined by what you do during the course of the game. So why don't we take a look at the next one called Rebirth. Okay, we're back. We're in the Lakeview Hotel, and we're in the little library room. And you may be able to notice that James is looking up on that shelf, and there's a little red book. I'd mentioned to you that collecting that red book was one of the items that we needed to get the other special ending. The other items included, back in the apartments, we found the vial of white chrism. At the gas station, we found the Book of Lost Memories. And in the Historical Society, we found the Obsidian Goblet. When we have all 3 of those items, plus this book right here, which we're about to grab, the book Crimson Ceremony. The title is Crimson Ceremony. Speak, I'm the Crimson One. The lies in the mist are not they, but I. You all know that I am one. Yes, and the one is I. Believers hearken to me, 20 score men and 7,000 beasts. Heed my words and speaketh them to all, that they shall ever be obeyed, even under the light of the proud and merciless sun. I shall bring down bitter vengeance upon thee, and thou shalt suffer my eternal wrath. The beauty of the withering flower and the last struggles of the dying man, they are my blessings. Thou shalt ever call upon me, and all that is me in this place that is silent. O proud fragrance of life which flies towards the heart, O cup which brims with the whitest of wine, it is in thee that all begins. So, with all 4 of these items, we get a special ending, but of course that requires us to get back to fight the Mary Maria monster. Alright, we're right outside the door. We're ready to take on the Mary Maria monster. I just want to remind you that because we collected all 4 of the items necessary for this special bonus ending, that takes precedent over all the other actions that we took during the course of the game. So even if we were aiming for one of the other 3 endings, we can only get the Rebirth ending now because we have the 4 items necessary. Now, let's talk to our not wife and see how it's different.
James.
Maria, I'm finished with you.
What? But I'm what you wanted. Mary's dead. Don't you understand? She's not coming back. But I can be yours. I'll be here for you forever. I'll never hurt you like she did. So why don't you want me?
Because you're not Mary. Without Mary, I just can't go on.
Oh, James. Come on, James. You must be joking.
Mary, you look so peaceful. Forgive me for waking you. But without you, I just can't go on. I can't live without you, Mary. This town, Silent Hill, the old gods haven't left this place. And they still grant power to those who venerate them. Power to defy even death. Ah, Mary.
And there you have it. That is the rebirth ending. And that ending suggests that James is going to perform some sort of ceremony or make some sort of pact with the powers that be in Silent Hill to bring his wife back from the dead. Now, I think that ending opens up a lot of really interesting narrative possibilities. I even thought at one point we might see James in the third Silent Hill game having had gone through this ceremony. And while a couple of writers, fanfiction writers, who have written stories about Silent Hill, have gone some interesting places with the idea of James using that power to bring his wife back to life. In the end, I think that kind of misses the point of what James went through. This wasn't about him becoming an all-powerful, demigod with his superpowered wife that really isn't his wife. But still, that does have some interesting ideas, like what would have happened if James did go through that ceremony? Would he have gotten his wife back? Or would in reality Silent Hill have just used him to get what they wanted? I don't know. A couple of other things I want to point out is, in that ending, James does not get to see Mary. In the other endings, he sees her and he either finds forgiveness or gives in to his delusions. In this case, he doesn't get to see Mary and have his last conversation with her. The other thing that we notice is that Mary's letter is not read at any point during the ending. but that's some interesting things maybe to mull over in your head. For the time being, there are 2 more endings we're going to take a look at, and this next one is out of this world. Alright, we're back in room 3012, the room where James and Mary spent their honeymoon. Or at least I'm assuming it's their honeymoon. It may have just been a day of vacationing. But during the course of the game, we used our channeling stone in a number of different locations, and we saw strange lights in the sky. The first location, of course, being back in the Otherworld Hospital. And the second location was back on the docks, when we finished the meat locker after having the boss fight with Eddie. So now, before we watch Mary's tape, we're going to use our channeling stone in here. Ooh, and that is quite a lot. And who is this? Sorry, who are you? Have you seen a little girl around here? Short, black hair? What are you talking about? Anyway, listen. Have you seen my wife? Her name's Mary. Ah! And now it seems, after the events of the original Silent Hill, Harry is working with the aliens. And poor James is taken away. Now we get the special UFO credits. And finally, we're going to take a look at the last bonus ending. We're outside of room 312, just after watching the tape. If we go this way down the hallway, you'll notice that there's a door. I don't think it's that one. That's locked. Maybe it is that one. I just walked past it. Yep. And since we had found the dog key during the course of the game, we can open up this door that otherwise would have been locked. And now we get to see the very last ending, which I think you'll get a kick out of. And that is the dog ending for Silent Hill. But the real joy of the dog ending is watching these ending credits, where we get to see all kinds of goofy silliness. One of the things about the dog ending is that it is implying that that's the dog that Eddie shot. The reason that's being implied will become clear during the course of the ending credits. We also get this silly little dog barking song and goofy scenes from the game. We also get a couple of glimpses at characters in situations that we weren't expecting. In fact, at some point, yep, there we go. I told you that James was actually a buff beefcake. And there's the dog growling at Eddie. But that is it for our trip through Silent Hill. These are all our bonus endings. I hope you enjoyed our look at Silent Hill's additional content, and that you will go out and play Silent Hill as well. So let's sit back, let's enjoy these credits, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next game.